Open our meeting at 5:32. I wasn't at our last meeting, so
That's two of us.
Michelle, I'm gonna ask you to kind of lead the parade here.
Okay.
Thank you for covering, while I couldn't be here. Appreciate that.
We'll see how much in a few minutes, though. I don't know. Let's see. All right, so this was what we had for our.
Well, first of all, hey, Austin, first of all, we should do our last minutes.
Yes.
Oh,
Is that the last minutes? August?
August 29th.
okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to find Tamika sent that email out.
Right.
And I missed that. I didn't see the attachment, but that's okay. No, I can peek on.
I'm fine with them if anybody cares. So I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
Second that.
Oh, that's the joint meeting, right? Is it 29th? I think you've got the other paper.
29th.
Jesus,
Yep.
I scrolled.
The 29th joint meeting with EDC, RDIC.
Yep.
Mike made the motion and
Yep.
Dick seconded.
Discussion.
Discussion. Oh, am I running the meeting?
Yes, you are.
Oh.
Well, I wasn't here at the last meeting.
can
so
still run the
No,
meeting.
you're gonna do just fine. Go right ahead. You mind? Maybe you should get used to it.
Hold it. You said that much. I'm gonna hold you to that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
All right.
I abstain.
So, what do we do with that? Because we've only got, well, how many of us were there?
Just you and I.
Yep. We may have.
No, this is no, Mike was there too.
Yep.
On this one here.
Right.
Yep. So we have
So,
three.
we have
three.
three of the three people, so that makes it go, right?
We
Because,
have 3 of the 5.
Mike was not at our last.
No, this meeting.
no, this
not
is
for the
this meeting.
minutes.
We're doing the minutes for this meeting. And at this meeting,
Oh, was that the one that we had the big round
the
table?
joint
Tim?
EDC
Oh, I
meeting,
was
you
there.
were there.
I don't abstain
Would you like to
then. I
change your
agree.
vote to yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That takes care of
So,
that.
okay, so, I'll agree, okay.
Michelle, if I might just interject. Austin, are you here for anything specific that we can help you get out of here? I'm not pushing, I just don't want you sitting here while we.
My second day back from my,
I understand.
so I'm interested in everything. No, I'm gonna go to the Capitol.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So, we had agreed on, so the first item of old business is to finalize and adopt our charge. And I had this as our latest charge for the, kind of the 3 bullet points.
Yep.
And do we agree that this is what we want to keep as our charge, or do we want to make any changes to it?
Why don't you
You want me to read it out
read it
loud?
to us, and, yeah,
Okay.
so the public knows what it is as well.
So it reads that the Rutland Development and Industrial Commission shall, one, the first bullet, develop and maintain an inventory of available, vacant, or unutilized properties, including commercial property that can be utilized to advance community and economic development. The second bullet, assist town administration with research, preparation, and filing of applications for grants or other funding opportunities in order to stimulate economic development. And the third bullet point is to collaborate with the select board and other municipal agencies regarding land use matters, bylaws, and regulations that may impact commercial and industrial businesses.
Read the second one again.
Assist the town.
I'm asking the question because it seems to me that kind of bleeds into what the EIDC was going.
Yeah, so I'm gonna hear it one more time.
Assist the town administration with research, preparation, and filing of applications for grants or other funding opportunities in order to stimulate economic development. So I think, is that for funding opportunities like the,
Now, how come they pulled this out of
I
the,
might change that to funding of like land purchases or land something, because otherwise it sounds like we're getting into what they're trying to do, which is, I looked at this from a big picture. We're the management and project management of this group. They're the sales and advertising group.
yes, but we do a little bit of sales and advertising in terms of the property. See, I saw it this way. I think we get the businesses or the development of the land, But then once businesses are here, like they do, like if there's just a transfer of property, they're taking care of that, but it's land development. We're doing the land development, right?
Can I see that again?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I'm just not sure the wording.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I don't disagree with you on the wording. I think maybe we need to,
Town administrator.
Well, I wasn't at the last meeting you had jointly. This, and
I think, isn't that what we came up with, though?
No, I believe this was from,
no, I don't believe that we specifically came up with, but after the meeting, the last joint meeting I was at,
Yeah.
I came away with the impression that the EDC was going to be the paperwork, research, computer.
Advertising, sales.
Yes.
Not sales, but marketing group of Rutland.
Yes, so I've got theirs as well. So the EDC shall proactively promote, encourage, and facilitate sustainable economic and agritourism growth while preserving and enhancing neighborhoods and maintaining the character of our community. They shall represent the town within local and regional business associations in order to promote Rutland's identity beyond the town line. Establish town lines. Establish relationships and improve communication with local businesses, including acting as a liaison within the business community. Spotlight local businesses on social media, including introducing new businesses and promoting special events and employment opportunities. Encourage business investment in commercially zoned districts, which will increase the commercial tax base while minimizing the impact on local services. And coordinate efforts with local, county, state, federal, and private developers in order to foster a positive commercial environment.
Wow.
Oh, and we ended up with just a very, that's right, we ended up with that generic, that's right.
That's what we had before the
Yes,
last meeting.
yes.
and I like it, selfless.
And we could keep it that way. So I think, was this a draft one from another time?
I like the bullets 1 and 3, don't get me wrong. I really like the 3, but the second one I'm just struggling with because research preparations and file. I mean, the research filing and preparations we have to do for the RFPs. I mean, that's in
Correct.
us.
And I think the point of that bullet, I think, was because to make it be known that we're not just dealing with the Heights property, that it goes for any town property. I think that's why that might have been included in there, is because to make it like known that it's not just the Heights property we're developing, but like if there's property along 68 or whatever, that we take a more active role in developing any other parcels in town
Mike,
as well.
I'm sort of with the assist thing. That doesn't mean we're just helping.
I don't have any real heartburn with it. I just, after the last meeting that I was at, I was still more than disappointed that the EDC still had some issues with the RDIC.
Yeah.
And I was hoping that would get fettered out at the last meeting you guys had. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. So I just want to make sure that they don't feel as though we're stepping on their toes.
Well, ask
No.
EDIC.
I think everyone agreed that those two.
Okay, if you all agreed, then.
We did agree.
Okay, fine.
Okay, I'm good with that then.
Okay.
I just didn't want, because again, I was talking with Mr. Gibbs, I was like this high level. We're the engineering and project management side, they're the marketing and sales dudes.
Yes, yeah.
At sales promotion, not
Yes.
actually selling, but the sales promotion.
Yes. And you're right, like generically speaking. I think
Yeah, and that's all I wanted to do. I don't want to, I hate getting into the weeds because it just, it's not at this point to do, but I'm okay with that. I mean, I can stand behind those 3 bullets.
And I think we can include this and then the 3 bullets under it. We could add that up here. Because I think that that hits it, right?
Yep.
And say, through these actions, right? Mm-hmm. Do you guys agree with that? If we
I think
take
it's-
what our charge was with the kind of
I
succinct?
like, yeah, so I'd like to
combine the
have that
two?
on the top. but-
Yeah.
Yeah, and then those are the sub bullets to the main
To this?
paragraph. Yeah.
So it would say so let me just read this out loud and make sure, can I have this?
Yes.
Please,
I
thank
have
you.
copies of that.
So the Rutland Development and Industrial Commission shall facilitate any and all economic or other opportunities that will benefit the residents of the town of Rutland while preserving the rural character of the town. through, I don't know, do I need to put something besides the bullets or just the bullets? Like, because this one says shall. But
You could put below this, mission, and then put a, what do you
so
call it?
just mission with mission with a colon.
Yep, and then put
I
those
think
below
if you
it.
take that as you have it, give it to Tamika.
Yep.
And let her get to
Do her
where,
magic?
yeah, do her magic with Austin and
Yeah.
make sure they're comfortable with the wording
Yeah,
of
Okay.
it, you know, from a town standpoint.
yeah. I'm good with that.
Okay.
He's glazed over there, the
Yeah.
poor guy.
He's back. All
I was gonna say, you're still in Greece, aren't you?
It's midnight in Greece.
right, now just take a picture so I
What did you have
don't.
for supper? That's what I wanna know.
In Greece or here?
I'll talk to you about it some other time.
I was gonna say, how's the
Talk
resume,
about-
how's the resume looking in
Aquaman's
Greece?
good.
What's that?
How's the resume? The housing prices over there are a lot cheaper than here.
Okay, so we finalized our mission statement, right, or our charge, so.
Our charge.
Okay.
the old business that we had to take care of.
New business, discussion of format of EDC/RDIC governance. So Mike, who wasn't there? I have the draft, I think these are draft minutes from, so it technically ended up not being a joint because we didn't have a quorum there.
I wasn't here, yeah, because I was out.
So,
You didn't have a quorum, so it couldn't have been an
so it was,
official meeting
it was in, right,
on the
so.
RDIC's part.
EDC had an official meeting, and they had specifically asked, so it ended up throughout the discussion, to do two separate committees. And Leah brought up a good point, because when we talked about the possibility of having the EDC be like a subcommittee of the RDIC.
You don't have to justify it to me. If that's what you guys agreed to, that's fine with me.
Well, I want to explain why it
Okay.
happened. So because I brought up the fact that we thought it should be a subcommittee, and Leah brought up the fact that the select board has the appointing authority. So how would it work if they're appointing? Would they be appointing to a subcommittee, or should they still be two separate
Yeah,
committees?
see, that's why it should be two separate, because they couldn't.
They can't appoint to our subcommittee, but then,
We would appoint to our subcommittee, because that's how the planning board does, we appoint to the subcommittee.
right.
So, I'm okay
So-
with two separates.
It is,
My only thought,
no, go ahead.
my only thought, I guess, is if it would be, because the select board's the appointing authority for RDIC, so if you had a subcommittee under you, I would just think probably procedurally is if you made an appointment to a subcommittee, maybe it just has to be ratified by the.
Yeah, it has to be ratified by the select board, that's a given.
Well,
It-
We even do
Yeah,
that.
That's what we do
That's-
now with the HPDD review board. That's
Yeah.
exactly how the process
so-
works.
Which is what I thought would be the cleanest, easiest way to do it.
But obviously, I can't speak for them, but if that's something that you guys still wanted to do, that would be possibly a solution there. You know, cause I think it's a little different than the
Yeah, because,
bylaw, cause that is a direct subcommittee
Yeah.
of the planning board.
but I thought we go to the select board to let them know, and we actually ask for applicants from this, help the select board get us applicants for the subcommittee. Because we
Which
want,
subcommittee?
the bylaw subcommittee.
Well, with the HPDD review board, we did what Austin said. We went in front of them and said, here's who we want.
Yeah, is it okay? And
Do you
here's-
remember? We
Yeah.
got shut
Yes.
down
On
on
a few,
some.
yeah.
Do you remember that?
We're elected, so that's why.
Yeah, we have a little bit more latitude. Anyhow, I'm fine with them being separate. I mean, the only thing I wanted to say about that is the communication, we just gotta keep in communication with each
See,
other.
that's why I thought.
I was just gonna bring up, I don't wanna interrupt anybody, so when it gets.
And I think that was addressed with the three motions, so, all of the discussion culminated in asking us to, and let me get my notes straight here. Asking us to do three things, so I had my
Minutes?
working
I
orders.
got the minutes right here. I
Yeah,
only
I've
got
got
one
them right
copy.
here. No, I've got them right here too. No, so the three things I needed to make sure I got completed tonight was one, to vote on the charge, which we just did. And then two others was to vote on having it be two separate committees, and on the liaison portion, if we agreed to have two separate committees. So if we do that, And we can make the motion and vote on it, but if we don't agree, we don't have to agree, obviously. But that's what I committed to. I said we would make those two motions and then bring it back to this committee to agree or disagree on it and then go from there. Does that make sense? Like, that's what we talked about, right?
Correct.
Okay. And the two motions were, the motion was from each committee to invite a member from the other committee to future, like, it would be to like invite members from the EDC to future RDIC meetings, and for the EDC, like, to invite a member to the RDIC for their future meetings. And then the second.
That's why he's here.
And then the second one was to maintain that they are two separate but cohesive commissions with improved communication moving forward. So.
I guess I'm okay with that.
If you folks discuss this and you're all happy with it, I still maintain that a subcommittee would have better continuity and communication. But if everybody is comfortable with two committees,
What was
I'm not gonna stand in the way.
What was the EDC's thought process of the subcommittee? Was it a no-go, or they wanted to be separate, or what was?
No, they both agreed, like, they agreed right in that meeting because they had a quorum.
Yep,
So those motions were made and approved by the EDC in that meeting.
okay,
But we couldn't do it because we didn't have a quorum.
okay.
No, but what Tim is asking is, what was their opinion of being a subcommittee rather than
Yeah.
a separate committee?
I think they felt strongly that I can let Mike speak. I think they felt strongly about being two separate committees.
Okay.
Chris.
And then Leah had addressed it too. Leah confirmed that the RDC only has appointing authority of the HPDD board. And as such, everyone agreed that they could successfully operate as two separate entities. And Leah emphasized the importance of having staff involvement with both commissions while still ensuring that the EDC and RDIC are included in potential opportunities.
That's what
I don't necessarily, Leah may know something I don't know, but I don't think that the RDIC cannot appoint a subcommittee to their own committee. Do you?
we could make a subcommittee anytime we
You know, it
wanted.
doesn't matter. If your committee
I don't know, I'm
is-
just saying, it's-
Yeah, no,
that's what
if that was the reason
It's-
to have two separate committees, then I don't think that's a good reason. If this,
If it's not valid, if it could be, like, are you saying
don't
it
have to
could be a
just-
subcommittee that the?
Well, I think the best mechanism, just respecting kind of the authority of the board and the work that you do, just put that in your charge and have the board approve it, right? So if you, for example, wanted to make even if it wasn't economic development, let's say you wanted to have a real estate development subcommittee, I would go to the board and say, hey, we want to create a real estate development subcommittee, what do you think? Get their blessing, right? Just as an elected board, right? You report to them, right? So no different than if I had a proposal for something, I
I
could
get
ask
it.
them, right?
From our standpoint, Mike, we really just want to work together.
yeah, I don't,
wanna,
you know, like I said, I don't wanna rehash what you guys got figured
I
out
wasn't
at the
there,
last
so-
meeting, so.
But it wasn't figured out on our end
Right.
because we didn't have a quorum. So it just because we agreed to bring it back to our committee doesn't mean that we have to approve it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but
We
I'm-
agreed to bring it back.
Maybe the question should be asked differently. Does anyone have a problem with us being two separate committees
yeah, that's probably, I mean, I don't,
on our committee? Does anyone have a problem with that? And if the
Okay.
answer is no,
Okay.
I mean, I like the subcommittee, but it seems like it's gonna be more of a, hindrance than an actual, effective, group. So if they wanna be two separate, I'm good with that as long as the liaisons work and the communications. The minute the communications break down, we gotta get back together and discuss this, cause I'm not going through what we went through the last two meetings. That just was painful in my mind. It was way too painful for me.
Agree. I agree.
I'm not doing that again, so we need to make sure the communications are up. And again, that's where what was read in the minutes, staff's gotta be a help us, cause we all have jobs. We're all got, even if we're tired, we got work, so we're gonna have to have some staff help. And that's what John's there for, so that's what I would say.
okay? Well, we gotta get Dick back in here.
You need Dick.
He's out trying to move unpermitted pipe around.
He's gonna have to move his pipes later.
Yeah. It's,
I
Dick,
I just voted myself out. Thank you.
no,
no, you can't vote yourself out.
yeah, you're not off the island yet.
Damn it.
So the question that we're gonna ask is, before we even take a vote, I guess the first question to ask is, does everybody agree that it would be beneficial to have two separate committees? Or do we think we should still stick with asking for it to be a subcommittee, I think is the question on the table.
First thought comes to my mind, we will keep it two separate for the first 6 months, and then after that, we will have see how it goes.
Well, that's back to what I said with the communication. We gotta check if the communication's not working, we gotta have a get together and fix it. Cause it just,
Yeah.
again, to reiterate, I'm not going through those last two meetings again, cause it was contentious. To Mike's point, it seemed like a
Yes.
lot of this, and I'm not in the mood for that. Got enough of it in other
The last one didn't
places.
seem as contentious.
And I missed that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Last one was very good.
The previous two, really, I didn't feel that we were getting anywhere fast.
I agree.
No, the last one I think.
And it took at least those 2 meetings for me to calm down, because I was so
Yeah.
ticked off about John getting his frickin' fingers involved in the damn thing without going through us.
Yeah, well,
That
I think
was, no, okay.
I'm okay with moving forward. Yeah, we're doing it, but again, the question
I'm
is,
sitting next to you, Dick.
yeah, usually I'm next to him holding him down. The liaison question is, gonna have to make sure we coordinate meetings and times.
Yes.
What nights do you meet on?
We moved it to the third Wednesday of the month instead of the second. Because I guess, well, John wants to be at the meetings because of the planning board.
Yeah.
So there's kind of that with the planning board in there, so we moved it to the third week. Because Randy wants 7 o'clock,
Yeah.
so.
I'll have to see what I can do, because that's typically, since the planning board meets on the 2nd and the 4th, the 3rd Wednesday is when the bylaw subcommittee meets.
Yeah.
So, we'll figure that out.
And that's supposed to be, John's supposed to be with us that night too.
Yeah, because we've got a lot of bylaws to knock out now, especially
Okay,
with.
back to the subject.
But
at
I
hand.
think in terms of.
We'll figure it out.
No, I think it's a good point, but in terms of like meeting times, I think both of us have to have a set meeting time that is convenient to the other.
Yeah.
So if that 3rd Wednesday, then we can go back to the EDC and say, can we find another,
Yeah.
like a couple of days a month that would work for both?
Because we're usually flexible. I mean, we've had meetings Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays,
Usually go
Fridays.
whenever I can get everybody
Yeah.
here.
Yes,
Yeah, so
yes.
we're wicked flexible in that standpoint.
And I think it would be good if we did that, or even if we did them both in the same night and like one piggyback on the other, and then whoever's doing it, one stays or comes in early for the other meeting, but that's
fine
just
with
my
that.
thought on it. But anyway,
How often do you meet?
Whenever necessary.
Just whenever
Yeah.
necessary? I know because we're gonna be going every month, I believe. So, but I don't think you every month, so.
Well, we might have to meet more frequent just to try
because
if
then we're gonna be
going by the
expanding our
new-
charge
Yes,
to
we're gonna
develop
have
other
to-
properties in town. I think we are gonna have to meet at
Yes.
least once a month.
And we're gonna have to have some discussions too, because need to see a map and see, you know.
What's available.
What is out there.
All right, we're getting way ahead.
Yeah.
Let's get back to.
Let's get to the vote, get the
But,
vote done.
okay, so,
Motion. That's what we need. Want me to make a motion for the RDIC to continue to operate
here,
as
I
a,
would like you to make
which one's that?
that bullet point, that one, because I said that we would make the motion exactly as written.
Read it before you make the motion.
Yep.
But you're gonna switch RDIC and EDC.
That can't be it, because that's talking about Chair Bolger.
Oh, wait a minute, is it
yeah,
the
no,
wrong
no.
one? Sorry.
The one above it, so this is the motion I'm gonna read, and this is not the motion, the motion is to maintain the EDC and RDIC as two separate but cohesive commissions with improved communications moving forward. That's it.
I like it.
I don't have any problem with it, I just don't know what it's really accomplishing. I mean, we are separate boards now, I mean,
I guess it's just reaffirming to the public that we're gonna stay that way, I guess, I don't know. But I'll make that motion to maintain the EDC and RDSC as two separate but cohesive commissions with improved communications, moving forward.
Second.
Discussion?
I already said it. I don't know what it means, but it doesn't change anything, so why are we making a motion to that effect, but it's fine.
But if we have a liaison coming back and forth, we'll start hearing what the other side is doing, so.
That's it. I don't have anything.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Was there a second?
Yes, I did.
He did second it, and we had discussion. So, aye. Are you agreeing, are you
Sure.
abstaining, or you can say no?
Aye. I don't have any heartburn.
You said there was, I didn't remember what the second motion you were
The
looking for.
next page.
I'll let you.
So the next one was about the liaisons. We still have to do that one too. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. And that's the one where they would be opposite, right?
Okay, this isn't the motion, I'm reading what I'm gonna potentially give as a motion. To invite a member of the RDIC, I'm sorry, the EDIC,
EDC.
to
RDIC.
future RDIC meetings for the EDC to invite a member of the RDIC to their future meetings. I think that's it. It's a lot of words for simply a liaison.
Again, I don't know what it accomplishes, I mean, all the meetings are open, anybody can come anytime they
Yeah.
want.
It is. It's like last night, we were just talking,
I guess-
anybody available? And here I am.
I'll make a motion that,
just before you do-
I'm gonna simplify this, because this is way too complicated for me. I'll make a motion to, have the RDIC, send a liaison to the EDC meetings.
But we also have to accept one.
We don't have to with an open meeting.
Got it.
Somebody tell me if I'm wrong, we don't have to.
Okay,
So that's why I only wanted to do us to them, because.
got it. To have the RDIC, so can you say that again?
A motion to send a member of the RDIC as a liaison to the EDC meetings. I mean, it's open too, I mean, I really don't need it.
RDIC as a liaison
Yes.
to the EDC meetings, okay.
And I second that.
And Dick's a second. Discussion?
I have a thought. What would you think about asking a member of the EDC to join the RDIC? And if there's someone that's willing to do both, have a member who's on both committees.
Oh, I think that's a great idea, because we got a space open, if I'm not
The
mistaken.
space open, and that takes away all the,
Wow.
Motions. Thoughts? I'm gonna ask the gentleman that's
that's a
here.
I don't think it's a bad idea.
do you think there's a member who would be willing to do it?
You know who that person is, don't you? I don't even have to say it. Yeah, it probably is. I would do it, so.
Then I guess I'll pull my motion back.
Well, no, I mean, we're not done discussing it
We're
yet,
not
so.
done,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
let's finish the discussion, because
It's an idea, I'm not saying it's a good idea.
No, I think it's a great idea, because that way.
But the only problem I have with the idea, it is a good idea, like to have one person who's a member of both. My concern would be, would they have to have the same tenure on both committees so that, you know what I mean? What
we
if
can
one
make that work.
expires or
So then you
whatever?
reappoint them.
Yeah. I don't see, the logistics of it doesn't bother me, because
Yeah.
it actually might work out if a member decides they want to do something else, like they're elected to the select board or something, and somebody else wants to be a liaison, or wants to be on the RDIC, they can resign, and then another person on the EDC could potentially be appointed to us. So I'm not worried about the logistics. That's my opinion.
I like it because I think in the future, when I'm out of here.
It's not happening.
Well, you know,
No, because, you know, in a way, if this is what the town is trying to do, is to promote business, and, yeah,
We could do the same thing. An RDIC member could easily be, if they want to join the EDC, could do that too.
if they wanted that.
Yeah, if they wanted that. But I'm saying from our perspective, I don't have a problem having one extra
Well, I'm
member.
sitting here thinking about it, and what it's now gonna do though is make us a 6-member board, which is not a good thing.
Yeah, because then we can have 3 and 3 and
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, I think it's very unlikely that those things happen in this kind of a board, but I don't think it's a reason to not do it.
Yeah, I think it's great because then you sort of push the liaison out of the picture because you've got somebody on here that actually is a appointed liaison, so to speak.
Well, they're more than that, they'd be a voting member.
Yeah. But they would have the intel coming from the EDC meetings to have input to the RDIC what's going on and be able to give us. That's the word I'm looking for.
Similar to what planning, like, aren't there boards that have members that are from other boards?
Yeah,
try to,
well, you're on the bylaw subcommittee and the planning board.
Yeah.
board.
Well, I am too.
Yeah,
In fact,
but there are some committees that are set up that way, though, specifically like that there's a member from this board or a member from that board on
well,
it.
that's how the charter's gonna be set up. You're gonna have multiple boards, and the Earthworks is set up that way, where you've got multiple people from different boards, because Norm's on that. When we did help me out here, well, Dick and I are trying to finish up the master plan. We had people from all different boards, and then, if you wanna call them special people from the town that were on it too, so we've done that in multiple boards in town. And different people on boards have sat on other boards, even elected. Cause we're not limited on the planning board, I can sit on any board I want. The only ones that's limited in town is the FICOM, they can't sit on another board. That's it.
So do we, okay,
Well, I guess what's the best
like
way
that
to do
idea.
this? Is it for us to officially take a vote, or is it for us to ask them to enter in discussion and see whether it's of interest to them?
That's what I would do, Mike, I would
Yes.
kill this motion that I made and ask them.
rescind your motion.
Yeah, I'd rescind I haven't yet, but I'd rescind the motion.
Yeah.
And then have a discussion with the EDC to see if anybody's interested in joining the board. That's what I'd do, I mean.
Yeah, our next meeting is November 20th, so make
You know,
sure it's on the agenda.
I think it does lots of things. It obviously would open the line of communication right up, because I mean, then there's no way you can't have communication going on
Correct.
if you have a member of both.
And it's a voting member on both boards.
Right,
So
and it
there's
also,
yeah.
I would hope, extinguish this underlying current of whatever the issues are between the, you know.
Well, it's a learning too. Whoever's on this board will learn more about the RDIC that they can take back to the EDC if there's any
Sure.
education issues. That
If it
individual.
shows a willingness of really wanting to.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah, no, that's
I
good,
think it's all good.
yeah.
So if that's it, I'll rescind my motion.
So Tim is rescinding his motion.
It's in my second.
Second,
That's it.
okay. And we're gonna have a new motion.
No, I wouldn't have it. I would just.
I don't think we need a motion right now.
Yeah.
Let's just let them go have a discussion themselves, say, RDIC has said they're willing, they'd like to have one of us join. What do you all, if they come back and say yes, then we'll make a motion and do it.
Okay.
Their liaison will take that back to their meeting.
And we don't have to make a motion, we don't have to vote on that. Like, we know we all agree on that?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that could go either way too. I mean, it could be one of you guys joining us, but I think we already have like 7 or 8 members now. I mean,
Yeah, there's a point where the
The
board gets
biggest
too
worry
big.
is getting too big.
Yeah, because then it's.
Honestly, I think 5 is a great number.
Yeah.
But, you know, and I said it at the last meeting I was at, if you get, you know, you get
Yeah, you and I
8,
had
9
good dis-
people and
yes.
everybody spends 5 minutes talking, there's an hour,
Yeah.
and you don't get anything done.
well, we got that discussion last night because of the 2 alternates. But the alternates don't really matter on the EDC because it's not part of the bylaws. Do they really have to be, so that was a big discussion
If they're
last
gonna be
night.
alternates, they might as well participate, but anyway.
But no,
okay,
that's what I'm
so-
saying,
But
so.
we don't need to have a vote to do that, we can just do that.
We'll let them decide, and then if they want a member, they'll petition Mike, or the chairman. Chairman will get that, and then I presume take it to the select board that
Say, hey,
this is somebody that wants to be on, and then at that point, the select board does this, we do this, and they get a seat.
So, and that's fine, we just looked it up to see like the membership, like how many people are on our board, so technically, there's only one vacancy, we have a 6-member board right now.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but how many can there be on our board?
Well, right now it's listed as 6, because there's only one vacancy.
I thought we had a
Well, no,
big,
but if you go back and look at the town approval, if I remember right, they can be as many as 15.
There can be as many as 15,
Yeah.
but I think, and Peter was saying, well, they'd have to vote to like, but do they have to vote to not?
Let's not worry about it. I think we've
Okay.
decided what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
We'll get our 6th.
at one time, we had 7, which was a good number. I mean, it was a little bit big, but it was still that number that,
A workable number.
a workable number.
But I guess that was my
Barely.
question, so, yeah.
Yeah,
But that might have had a lot more to do with the makeup of. the
that's a
committee
true
than-
statement, yeah.
Yes, all right, so we are going to, so RDIC,
We'll wait to hear from the
From us.
EDC on,
You know what, this is being filmed, so you shouldn't have to take minutes because Tamika can do this from the recording. That's what she said in an email to us.
okay. And we are being recorded, right, okay.
Yes.
So not to wait. So the RDIC, so, and we can do that through Mike right now?
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll take it. I just need to know when your next meeting is so that I can, you
We'll
know.
get there,
I know you will.
It'll be after yours.
okay.
Yeah,
So, format of governance, we discussed that. Any other issues on the format of the governance? I think that was good. Discussion of scheduling regular monthly meetings.
I would suggest we ask Tamika to take a look at her master scheduling that she does. And
Okay,
then maybe send out a, her ballot question. Hey, what of these work best for you? And see if we can.
and for us, it probably shouldn't be until after Thanksgiving, because we've got a town meeting, we got votes
There's
coming
no
up.
urgency.
No.
Yeah, that's what I was getting
Right,
at.
right.
This
But-
should be
I mean,
late,
there is, but there isn't.
yeah, but we can ask Tamika to
Yep.
suggest days and times.
yep.
And, all right, I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah, and
that are
Tamika's
convenient.
watching this, so Tamika, if you could do that, and if you do it,
I don't.
We're not live,
No, we're not.
it's only being
well,
recorded.
no, I know,
Just being
I'm
recorded,
talking to her
yeah.
like
Okay,
we
yeah,
are.
yeah.
And if she does it, what's your meeting, November?
November 20th is our.
Yeah, so I mean, if you do it before then you folks could discuss whether that works or not.
We'll probably bring it up, it'll probably be at that meeting for discussion.
Discussion, okay, so any other questions about the monthly meetings? We're good with that? Discussion of Community Preservation Act on the November ballot. We've been asked to send a letter of support from our committee to support the Community Preservation Act.
Who are we sending the letter to? That was my,
Who's asked us for that?
yeah, that was gonna be my second one, Mike.
Was it Randy at the
No,
Ag?
I think it was from the select board.
I'd like to see a written request of that.
Because John pulled me and said that he thinks it's illegal to do.
I can give you some updated information.
What's
on that.
I
illegal
think
to do?
it's here,
What's illegal to do?
there was a,
To make a recommendation, like that. And I can't believe, I
just
can't
wanna-
believe that. I don't think that's right.
Well, to Mike's point, I just wanted to know who asked and who sent and who we sending it to.
Right.
So,
Who are you making a recommendation to?
I can fill in a lot of that information
Okay.
for you, so.
let me see, from the last meeting, the joint meeting where we didn't have, the boards and commissions are being asked to consider writing a letter of support in favor of the CPA, which is question number 6 on the November ballot. The CPA was first brought before the residents at annual town meeting in May, where voters passed 3 proposed exemptions. The next step in the process is for residents to vote on the ballot question in November. Randy and other members expressed their strong support of CPA and encouraged others to do the same. Mike stated that while he once supported CPA, he is no longer, this Mike DeVericus, is no longer in favor of adopting the law. He has seen a decline in the state's matching fund. It doesn't really say where it came. Oh, after further discussion, the majority of the commission was in favor of writing a letter of support, which John offered to draft. So I think, so their committee is supporting the CPA. They
Who
voted
asked you guys
support
to
it.
do that? That's what I'm trying to get to the bottom. Was it from the select board, the town administrator?
I think it's the select
I
board.
think it was the select board where it initially came
Probably
down from.
Jen Ledger, because she's the one that had at the annual town meeting, she's the one that
Did
put
you
on
guys
the
get
thing.
anything
I
in
think
writing?
it is because she asked
Was it just
us to
verbal?
do
Well, it was
in-
really just a topic of discussion that we had.
I like to see
And
something though.
But anyway, and we did approve it. That my statement isn't exactly clear. I clarified that last night, and basically my answer is I think we should be informational purposes. We shouldn't be coming out as a committee in support of a ballot question. Today, as you heard, Dick, that was brought up by John today, brought up with Austin. And Austin thought that it might be a violation of the Ethics Committee. And the word came back down, you can do it.
You can, not,
You can.
okay.
A committee can go in support of the ballot, of a ballot question, or declined if you so desire. The question comes in other areas, because we have, as you know, it doesn't pertain to you, but for us, we have the Discover Rutland. So that's where it becomes a little bit more difficult information. But as a committee, you can, if you decide to, you can vote in support and send a letter. And we do have a letter that John put together that's being sent to Leah in Austin, which if you want me to read it, I can read what it says.
Okay, so that's who it's gone to. That answers my second question.
And I think, so we did it on the historical commission the other day too. So
Funny,
we-
the planning board wasn't even asked about this.
But we also have, like, in this historical commission meeting, we determined that because we don't have a whole lot of funding for the different projects and kind of like getting things on the historic register and
It's a
stuff
huge
like
help.
that. It's a huge help to have those funds available. And I think for RDIC, the same would work, right? Like we never get a budget that we can't even get.
We don't
a
get any
budget
money
with
from the town budget,
we have to
so.
go back to daddy and ask for every time we
Yeah.
wanna buy a candy bar. So would this help us have
Yep, because that's
budget?
part of the my understanding, this is my 30,000-foot CPA, 4 groups. The recreation, land purchases, affordable housing, and historical.
Yeah,
Those are the big ones. Now, there's all subdivisions off of that, but that's it. And the land purchase is where we would come in if we needed some money to assist us for land purchasing. You know, like,
those 59As, is that what they are called?
oh no, I was thinking from like the RDIC, if we needed something for monies to do any clearing or
An RFP,
cleanup,
yes,
we
yes,
could
yes.
ask that from the CPA.
Yes,
So again, it's just, to your point, Michelle, we don't have to go begging all the time for $5,000, $10,000. We could go to a committee that'll be made up of multiple people and ask for that money. I mean, again, that's off and down, but that's an opportunity we have, so. Again, I'm in favor of the CPA, it's just, this is my opinion, and I've said this to Dick. Being an old farmer, I have a hard time voting with something when there's no bylaw in place. I'm buying something that I don't know what I'm buying, because there's no structure to it right now of how it's gonna be effectively executed in Rutland. That's my hard part right now. In the big picture, I agree with it. I think it's a great savings account for Rutland. I just
Let me ask you this question. If the state didn't fund it, if it was just our money, would you, and you don't have to answer it if you don't want.
No,
Would you still be in favor of it?
yeah, because I think it's a savings account we should have done years ago to try to have the opportunity for land purchases, help out other requests within the town that the budget can't hit. I know I've had this argument with people. I don't see it as a tax. It could be construed as that, but I see it as money that residents are putting into a savings account.
I don't know how you can not say it's not a tax. That's a bunch of bull right there.
Well,
But I understand what you're saying, though. It's a tax specifically for a town to do some of the things that need to get done.
You're right. I'm paying money out of my pocket, but it's not going into a general fund to be distributed to whatever's needed in the budget. It's going to a
Correct.
specific.
It's kind of a targeted
Yeah,
tax. Yeah.
so you're right. It is a event. If you want to get the bottom line
It's a
definition
tax.
tax.
Call it whatever you want.
It's a tax.
well,
But it's also a very
Yeah.
a very narrow tax
Yes.
in how it gets spent.
But again,
and it's
that-
not going to get spent on a new whatever, like a.
Well, and that's the problem I have, Michelle, is with typical when I'm going to be taxed on something, I've got a definition of what it is. I know how it's going to be executed. I know where it's going. Well, I assume I know where it's going. That's a whole different argument. But this, we're voting on it. There's no bylaw in place. There's really no how it's going to be used.
Which comes first, the chicken or the egg?
Well, you should have a law in place before you.
right, it should be in the making right this moment.
Yeah. Am I going to shoot it down at the ballot box? And again, this is my opinion. No, I think we should have done this 10 years ago when Joe Becker brought it up.
I agree.
And the state was matching us 6% to 6%, and we didn't do it then.
Yep.
I agree with it in principle, but I have a real problem collecting money with no
You two are saying the same
process
thing, yeah.
to spend it.
Yeah, and see, that's where I am, Mike. And my other struggle right now is I know too much about how bad the state is in, and there's going to be
That's
no
exactly
money.
my point.
I mean, we're $4 billion in the hole or
Right.
thereabouts from a $1 million surplus. What's the first thing that's going to get cut? Any excess programs. So again,
And where does the money come for that CPA? It comes from the Registry of Deeds.
Oh, go ahead, I'm just raising my hand so I can have a word and.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where it comes from. It's coming from the state, and they're gonna decide where it gets spent.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's no two ways about it.
And if they need to move
They
monies
take lottery
around-
money when they need it. I mean,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah, it's like our government takes Social Security money and uses it where they want. Same thing.
It is a trust fund, and this year, to what you're saying, Mike, is true. The trust fund, if you look at the fiscal report on the CPA for this year, it's down. The state is not funding it as they have done in the past. They've had some good years, and it is a matching fund, but our share could be down to 20% when we
be
do get
zero.
it, because the state's not funding it. And that's the thing. The other thing to what Tim is saying, and I agree with, is it's a committee that will decide how the money, where it goes, but it's also voted at a town meeting. So,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, the town, that's how it's.
We vote on how we want to spend.
What if we write a bylaw that says, no, you don't have to?
Well, they have,
See,
that's the way
the bylaw's not written, just remember,
Well,
it's
that's
not
true.
written.
Not written, but it has to still go to be voted
Yeah.
in, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
And I think, yeah, and even if they're not funding like a matching portion to it, there's no harm in starting to save money, and then eventually when they do start, we still need, we
should
still
have done
need
it
money
years ago.
earmarked for it.
Oh,
The
absolutely.
problem you're gonna have, and with the sales pitch, and to Mike's point, is that we're putting a savings fund away for those specifics, and we've got town roads that I can't even drive on.
Right.
So that's a tough sell to me.
Well, the other part of it too, Tim, and in all honesty, is when you look at it, you can be tax exempt. I mean, you can be exempt from this based on, I'm on Social Security.
Yeah.
I'm in the exempt file. Not a big deal. But what about the person in town that maybe bought a house, $800,000-$900,000 home? We already know what their taxes are, but they're facing that yearly increase that you always get.
Yeah.
Then you gotta face a possible override, that's another talk over there. And then when you start looking at the percentage,
I know.
like you said, taken out, it's not a tax, but it's taken out.
There's a certain portion that's exempt though.
Only
like the first couple
100,000. No, just
100,000.
800,000.
But what I'm still
But if
saying,
you have an $800,000 house.
100 grand's
I
not
don't
gonna be a
have-
lot of money.
I don't have too much sympathy for you either, I hate to tell you.
That's the standard
no, I hear
price
what
in
you're
Rutland
saying,
right
but
now.
the thing is, I'm just saying, it's another $200 or
I'm telling you, Michelle, that's the
$300.
standard price for a
They're not gonna be able to
Yeah.
judge what they're gonna spend it on, so
Michelle,
they may
can I
have an
interject?
issue with it.
We're
that's all.
getting nowhere here.
yeah.
Sorry.
I think whoever is asking this question if they're asking boards to vote on it, they should be here to answer questions.
Okay,
So that's my opinion.
so we are going to,
So it's Peter's account.
yes, Peter had a, sorry.
Yes, Peter Crane Nate's Way, I want to say two things. Number one, there's only one bylaw coming before the town, and that's the formation of the Community Preservation Committee, which is the committee that decides how to spend money, quote unquote. The process is laid out in Mass General Law. It is not laid out by town bylaw.
Oh, okay.
So
It's good to know.
none of that is fungible. The only thing that's up to the town is the bylaw that's coming up, which talks about who's on the committee, how many members are from planning or conservation or historical or whoever.
Thanks for that info. I did not know that.
And I haven't talked to the bylaw committee recently to know where they are, but that should be coming up soon. The other thing I wanted to say is Conservation Commission voted not to write a letter of any sort, just for your information.
So the,
We did.
the committee, the potential committee is gonna be established by the bylaw subcommittee. I mean, they're gonna determine what the organizational structure
The
should be.
bylaw committee is going to propose the bylaw that determines who sits on the committee.
Is this at the
When is
fall
this
town
town
meeting?
meeting?
I don't know when they're putting it up. I haven't spoken.
Oh, okay.
November.
I have proposed that it be up in November so that come May, we could already have a committee established and working towards determining things before the money starts rolling in. Because there's a lot of community process and community involvement that needs to go on to do this process proper.
So when is the town meeting?
22nd?
21st of November we have.
The third Thursday in
So we
November.
basically have 6 weeks for the bylaw subcommittee
To get it.
to get it written, get the selectmen's blessing,
It's a 9 members.
public,
Up to 9 members.
4 weeks of public hearings,
At least
ain't
5.
happening.
2 have.
I was gonna
to be
say,
on a certain
Mike,
committee in town.
I couldn't
Yeah,
get
and
that
the-
through with a
bylaw
minor.
Appointed by the select board.
That's not gonna happen.
They're all appointed by the select
Okay,
board.
that's,
Getting it
no, I read the
on
same thing.
town
I'm right with you.
Well, you
Get
gotta
it
have
on
it
the town
written.
meeting.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have public hearings on the bylaw.
I wish somebody was here from the select board, because I wanna see if there's,
You don't.
Well, you better if you want people
It's
to
a
vote for it.
general bylaw and what.
Right.
Oh, I got it.
Now, the
but
bylaw says there are supposed to be not public hearings, but public information sessions about each and every bylaw and amendment that is proposed.
let me ask Pete, and I'm not, you don't need to know this or not, do they have a placeholder in the warrant article for that bylaw? You
No
don't-
idea.
Okay. And Mike, this gets back to you, Mike. If there's nobody to answer that, I don't know.
Okay.
So anyhow.
But would it matter? So if there isn't a placeholder and they can't put it on there, it would just be a dead letter. But
Yeah.
if there's a placeholder there and they're putting it on, it's up to you guys, but
I don't know.
someone do something.
I wanted to show our support.
so you'll make the motion to send a letter of support for the CPA?
So moved.
Okay,
I'll second it. I'm okay with that.
discussion?
Yeah, I gave you my position. I don't think we should be, I'm not willing to vote for it without someone here to answer the questions and give me some comfort that we're not creating another uncontrollable creation.
Any
But
further-
the whole thing takes a whole year, I think, before it can start. So it's gonna be a little while before this thing, if it
2
passes.
years, it has to be funded for 2 years before you can take out of it.
Take out of it, right.
That's funded, but you're gonna start collecting money before that.
Yeah.
Yes, but still, the money is in that account
Yeah, but you can't take it.
You can't take it out?
2 years.
for 2 years. But at least,
God, I'm struggling with this.
And the other thing you gotta be careful for is what you use it, and if you take too much out, because the town can reject the EDC, not the EDC, the CPA, they can reject, too many letters. They can actually reject it in 5 years and back out of it. But if the town has borrowed more than what you got in there, cause you can do it,
yeah.
now the
You can-
town's
you-
on the
you
hook
can-
for it.
Don't tell me that.
And that's one of the things that why we need it in this town, because the town can utilize it as some funding towards a project.
All right, I mean, in principle, I'm okay with it. The execution scares the living hell out of me. That's my bottom
Well, you're
line.
gonna have to stay on top of it then.
I know, but that shouldn't be a citizen's responsibility to basically be riding police patrol on government officials.
Well.
I mean, if that's the way it is,
Yeah.
then anyhow, I'll stop. I'm getting wound up.
Okay.
Who
So,
isn't?
okay, so there's been a motion, a second, and discussion. Any further discussion? Okay. So we vote?
I'll do aye.
Nay.
Okay. Aye.
I would suggest if you're gonna have a letter written, talk with John so he could
If you would
emulate the
like.
letter.
You don't even know who you're gonna write the letter to.
Well, that was my,
I
is it
think we
select
rate it
board?
to the select board.
If you want, I'll read a letter that he wrote
that's
for us.
okay.
Okay, but I will, all right, then I'll just tell you that he sent it to Leah with a carbon copy. Randy Jordan signed it because he's the chair of the committee, so he's the one signing it. Carbon copy went to Austin and the select board, all the select board.
Yeah, I
Got a
think we'll
carbon
go to the
copy.
select board.
So John did write the letter, so you can ask him to do the same thing as he did for us.
I would suggest, Mike, don't tell me if I'm overstepping, since Mike voted no, I would suggest you sign the letter.
Don't have to worry about me. I don't mind signing a letter,
Okay.
even saying no, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
I just didn't wanna
the
put you in one of those
position-
situations.
No, it's the position of the committee. I don't have
Okay.
to agree.
Okay,
Doesn't
I'm
have to
good.
be unanimous.
All right.
So we wanna get John to do the letter?
I would say he's the
Okay, I'll
staff.
take care of the letter.
Oh, excellent.
Update on Harmony Place as needed?
Yes, I noticed the power lines were connected on Maple Ave.
Yeah, because Eversource and National Grid got transformers delivered 2 weeks ago.
I haven't seen any up there.
They haven't brought them up yet?
I drove
Okay.
up there 3 days ago and there was no transformers.
They've got them, it's
But-
just getting the work orders executed.
But
Have they got the poles in and the wires run?
poles are in, but the wires were dangling down near when you first drive into the
Yeah.
road. But now that they're up and they're connected to the main one, so power is going up, and I got funny feelings that,
Well, there was, at the last pole, they were just dangling.
Yeah.
So I don't know how
So
they
the,
did
the
They've got
switch,
them
the
ready to
switch
go.
out at Maple Ave is off, cause they're not gonna have power going through that wire, but,
that's where they got it hooked in.
yeah, but there's a switch there that they have to, the lineman's gotta
Probably,
put
yeah,
in
but-
service, and they won't do that until that line connects to the transformer.
Right. But I didn't have time enough to look when you
See if the
drive.
transformer's there?
No, to see if it's connected, I'll take a drive by and.
Doesn't
see if-
matter, until the transformer's there, it doesn't make any
Yeah.
difference. Is the transformer on the pole or on the ground?
On the ground, it should be on the, they're gonna put it on the pole, they can't, it's too big, it's
They
gonna be too
wanted a
big.
temporary one to put on, so they could have some power up there, period.
For the amount of houses they got, they can't put pole ones up there, they'll need a ground-based one, you know, one of those
Well,
ones that looks
huge.
like a generator. That's what they're gonna have to put up, 100 KV or 50
There's
KV.
Wasn't
no, there's no concrete pad or anything there.
They're gonna have to pour it, they're gonna have to put all that in.
Wouldn't you think if they're waiting for it would be there by now? Well, I didn't get out and look, but you can't see it when you
Would they
drive.
put that in on our property?
They put it in on easement, or they put it on the
No,
right
that's
of
actually
way.
on the last pole, I think, is on their property.
Okay,
I'm not positive, but I think so,
Okay, and that's where the transformer would go?
yeah.
Okay.
I placed a call to her this morning to ask her this very question, she didn't return it, so.
okay.
Okay.
Well, you know,
Yeah,
And Mike, if you wanna give her some advice, cause I go through this with Grid all the time, is have her, if she's got the work order that's associated with that, project for Harmony Place,
yep, she has it.
ask National Grid what the status is of that work order with their construction group. Because they can give you that, because I do it all the time. Because, yeah, I've got a direct, call it an Eversource contact that I call, one person that gets me all my information. But there is an 800 number that I'm sure she's dealt with, and just ask them what's the status. Give me a date of when it's gonna be installed.
well, they already said it was gonna come in August, And
Yeah, well, they
she-
could,
She,
But she-
and,
yeah.
and she said, I think they just gave me that date period just to shut me up.
we didn't have, I mean, I've got a job, and I probably said this to the committee, I got a job in Framingham, it's been sitting there for 6 months because I can't get transformers. Eversource just got them 2 or 3 weeks ago, and now my crews are going out, not mine, but the electric crews are going out to do the installation this week. So 6 months it sat there, a cabinet
That's
that,
what they've been since.
yeah, I couldn't do anything, I couldn't get it active. So now they're gonna go out and put it out, so I would assume Grid got the same transformer, because the electric guys I talked to said it was like the factory opened up and everything got pushed out, so
Wow.
I'm guessing Grid got their order too. But that's a question to ask when Harmony calls in for the work order.
A little bit off, but is there any way town of Rutland could get Eversource in here rather than National Grid?
Not gonna happen.
That can't happen?
Nope. This is Eversource territory.
Who
The Department of Public Utilities would have to
owns Eversource?
Eversource.
Eversource is
It's a
the owner.
Yeah, it's a US-based company out of Connecticut.
Out of Connecticut.
Berlin, Connecticut is where the corporate office is.
Okay,
And
because
Grid's
National
owned-
Grid is in Europe,
Yeah, it's a UK.
UK,
It's
yeah.
a UK-based company.
yes.
So, yeah, we're US-based. We're on the New York Stock Exchange. We got US stock.
All the more
Well,
reasons
what I
we
can,
should.
the only thing I can tell you about Harmony is a month ago, or 3 weeks ago, she sent a letter, kind of a nasty gram off to them saying, hey, this is all a bunch of bull. And the response she got was that transformers were gonna be in, I think it was the first week in October, if I remember right. I thought I.
Yep,
I
and that's
thought I had it
about,
right.
yeah.
So, there's nothing they can do until they get them. But they do have another building going up right now. I think that's.
They gotta get that power in before they can go anywhere.
7, I think.
7 now?
And
Wow.
there's 1 or 2 cellar holes too.
But they can't do any occupancy permits until they
Oh,
get
no.
that damn power in.
Yeah,
Well, can't sell them either until they can turn the lights on.
And the other thing that you wanna talk to her about, Mike, if you do, is that even if she gets the transformers in, make sure that whoever their electrical contractor is get those inspections by Lester done, because otherwise, if Grid doesn't see that checkbox in the computer, they'll never come out and put the meters on the houses. That's delayed the hell out of me for weeks and months on end too, is I can't get Grid out to put meters on my meter sockets.
wow.
Because of checkbox.
Because-
Because the checkbox from the local inspector's not done. Now Lester's good about that, so luckily we got a good gosh darn inspector that'll take care of that.
All right,
But it's just food for thought of what I've gone through on my end.
all right. And
Yeah.
And I went out to see Chris because I heard that he's been waiting for a part for his tractor in order to mow at the heights.
That's what he told me. I talked to him 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, and he says they're still waiting its computer in the tractor. Trying to wait. But the dealer can't get anybody in there to upgrade it, get it fixed, and all that jazz.
What kind of tractor is it?
I don't know.
Hopefully it's not.
It,
Hopefully it's not.
Chaplin, I think it's.
Hopefully it's not a Simplicity, because Briggs doesn't make that tractor anymore.
No, it might be a Kubota,
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
but the whole thing of it is, and he said that, Dick, I'm positive we mowed it last year, the top of the dump,
Okay.
and I says that's.
He told me that too.
And I says that's the one thing that I'm nervous about because it didn't look it, in my opinion, in parts of it. So I don't. He said no, we'll make sure we get up there, even if I have to use the old tractor. He says I'll probably get somebody up there.
All right, that's good.
And question I have for you, do you?
Is it a hard one?
Yes. What can you put on top of that dump? What does DEP allow you to put? Parking?
No?
Anything?
Very doubtful because of that rubber membrane.
Yeah.
The honest answer
Yeah.
is I don't know specifically, but are you asking for a reason?
I just want to know, is that something that we can utilize in the future? And to me, for crying out loud, it's.
My opinion
I
is we
need
stay
yes or
away
no,
from it.
and that's
Yeah.
that's
I
all.
think we should stay away from it.
Because don't they
All you're
have-
gonna do is rupture the membrane and then all bets are off.
Isn't that a constant methane producer too? At the
I don't
dump?
think
No,
so.
it's not that
No,
type of a
there's no
dump.
gas pipes on it.
Yeah,
All right, I thought that it would, because it's a dump, that there would be methane being produced from the off-gassing of.
what was removed from one spot and put into the existing spot now was material that was, I might say cooked or whatever, a furnace,
Yeah.
blasted
The
to cook it,
tillings or whatever you call it.
body parts,
Oh,
Skeletal
okay.
remains.
yeah,
Just fooling.
So it's basically ash.
yes.
Okay. All right.
So
I think Mike's right. I know from landfills out where I live, they're there for a lifetime. Nothing goes on top of them.
Well, how many times did we ask to use the landfill down on Shinnecock Hill, and the state would never even listen to us?
Right.
So,
And, and that one is leased from DCR. The town does not own that one, yeah. But yet we have a ball field on that dump down here, so. Anyways. Okay, and to me, one of the things I would really like, is the town properties to, maybe someday there ought to be a tour where you had the cell tower put in and the rest of the properties around there, so people know. Because there are
The date.
a little bit of factions there that
Is that what
is
they're saying, 9th?
watershed protection
That
areas.
was supposed to be in?
There's brooks
No,
coming down
that's the-
through
the-
there
the-
and there's
the
200
date he
foot on
signed
either
it.
side, can't
How
be
many days
touched,
are in
so.
September?
But how do you know? Does everybody know where the hell they are? or what
that's
it
a
is?
I think the
21,
first thing
not
we do is get 61A lands
Sure.
marketed, identified and prioritized.
Oh, yes. And that map was, I just had,
Does that make it
Seth.
invalid?
make me 20 of them,
No, because
big ones,
in the
for the Ag Commission to start
National
working
Good
on.
Work Order, it's
And
just
that's
a
on our,
checkbox.
It shouldn't just be the Ag Commission though. Because
Well-
no offense, but they're looking at it through ag eyes. It
Yeah.
should
That's just
be
our home electrical.
us,
Well,
it should be the
the-
planning board.
checkbox.
It probably should
They have to
be,
put a new meter
and,
in.
but right at the moment, we're trying to
that checkbox
verify
saying
that
that local
they have the
inspector has
correct
thumbed
ones
up
on
it.
there. Because,
Because it's his responsibility to check the wiring.
I
the meter
kept on
box,
asking,
everything, before Grid puts their meter on.
Jimmy Taylor, solar, when it had a solar farm on the damn thing, it didn't show any of the 61A properties.
Next meeting we have, bring one of the maps.
Okay, all right.
Anything else, Madam Chair?
I think, other business as needed. Do we have any other business to discuss this evening?
I don't.
I don't either. You?
I would like our, before we get, oh, come on.
Go ahead.
Before we start getting bad weather or something like that, wouldn't it be nice to have it up to, maybe up to the,
Harmony Hill.
Harmony Hills, thank you.
We tried to do that once, hoping that they were gonna have that first unit
Yeah.
plastered and so we could go in and tour it and everything else. And
Yeah.
obviously because there's no power. As soon as there's power there, sure. And I talked to Laurel about it and she said, let us know,
Yeah.
I'll come up and give you guys a tour and, thank you for your support and so on and so
And
forth.
to me, that's one of the things that help, it'll build up courage, and then I'll go out there and start saying, hey, what the hell,
We have this new Rutland gram. Why don't we when we do that, get some pictures of it and give it to Tomika and say, make this in there. This is
Newsletter- the
what
new-
did you
newsletter.
call it?
the Central Tree, whatever. I call it the Rutland gram, but that's not what it's called. It's actually
Central Tree News.
Central Tree News thing. It's on there.
The criers.
Do we have anything else legitimately to discuss?
The only thing, Mike, I wanted to bring up is that I started with the planning board, the budgeting process for 2026 by coming up with a spreadsheet. I think the RDIC should, and I know we've been shot down in the past, but I think we should
In the
come up.
past?
Yeah, okay,
In the future.
okay.
Hopefully not.
I'm
But we
trying to
should
be
still-
politically
We should still
correct.
ask, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and
We
what I'm
should still
getting at
ask.
is come up with some, like I did with the planning board, some bullet points of what we need financed and put it out there. Because I want to get ahead of this, because last year we got shot down because we were too late to get in, and I'm not doing that. Yeah, well, don't get me.
Tamika, can you put that on our next agenda? Please?
Excellent.
And maybe the town will move my stipends from general fund now
Nope.
too.
Dick, it's not happening. You gotta take the money and hand it to the RDIC.
Isn't bothering anymore.
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
Do we want to schedule another meeting?
Tamika was gonna come up with some solutions,
We're gonna ask her to look at dates, right?
and
Oh,
then,
I thought she was looking at dates for like a regular occurring meeting, but, well, let me ask you this. If we're gonna ask for money from the town meeting,
no.
oh, for the annual town meeting.
Annual town meeting,
Got
yeah,
it.
this
Never
one's
mind.
too crazy.
Our next meeting should be after them next
Yeah.
meeting.
Got it.
Yep.
I heard a motion to adjourn. Do I hear a second?
Yeah, it was second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.